And welcome to the Crawford Podcasting Network. This just gets more fun and fun to do all Rell and Good with the former Michigan standout Richard Rellford out of Riviera Beach, Florida, two-time Big Ten champion. He's been in the NCAA tournament. And as a proud old basketball alumnus of the Wolverines, he had to be beaming ear to ear. Michigan just beat down the Seminoles. I know you got a lot of your boys in the state of Florida and South Florida probably calling you out and probably taunting you ahead of time, Rich. The Wolverines are going down, but it didn't happen, did it now?
Well, I got to tell you, Tom, I did have a lot of my friends, man, call me up and say, we like Big Blue, but because Scotty Barnes is from my hometown, we going to go with Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
I said, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But I had faith in our guys, and I knew everybody was telling me, Rich, Florida State has athletes. And I said, yes, they do. But you guys forgetting, last week we played LSU.
Yeah.
They had athletes.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What it means is if we go in there on all cylinders like we did, the results come out, what you saw the other night, Florida State-Michigan game, with the Big Blue coming out on top.
You know, Rich, the great point, because I think these two wins over LSU and Florida State were two of the best wins of the year. This thing yesterday might be the best. And, you could tell early on that FSU was trying to intimidate. They were doing that three-quarter zone press. They were trying to be physical up in the jaw. MJ Walker, Scotty Barnes, Malik Osborne, you could tell these guys were going to try to dishevel Michigan. Michigan did not back down, but in our prior game discussions, because you've mentioned this, dude, well, you like all these teams, and you've pinpointed a lot of them in different, just in different takes on how they're playing. But you have pinpointed that Franz Wagner has got to step up. A double-double for Franz. 2 big games in a row this past week. Talk about Franz and what he contributed, Rich.
Well, I have a lot of faith in Franz. And what I wanted him to do was put 2 halves together.
Yes.
First
thank you.
Not
yes.
just the last 10 minutes. And what he did was exactly that. And I'm going to tell you, that 3 that put us back up 10 was a big 3.
Huge.
It was a big 3. And when he hit it, I knew then, because he had a lot of good drives to the basket, and it was very impressive. But all of these guys, I was impressed as well with Brandon Johns. He's doing an amazing job of filling in for Isaiah Livers. And I think with all the confidence he's playing with, listen, at first I was worried we didn't have Isaiah. And I wish we had him. But to be honest, the way we playing right now, we on a mission. And I'm loving it.
Yeah. You mentioned Brandon, and there were so many different ways you could go in this game evaluating the personnel. And Hunter is part of that mix. But Brandon, with 14 points, 6 boards, he had a couple of assists. This is a confidence thing. He was on a Zoom call with the media earlier in the week, and he just admitted that he's just booming in confidence right now. And I think it's the fact that he knows now, and he knew it before we knew it yesterday officially, that it was announced by CBS that he's definitely out. Tracy Wolfson, the former Wolverine alumnus, the alumnus cited that he's no longer there. So here's my point. So Brandon knows Liver's not coming back. It's on him. It's all on you, Brandon. And boy, you talk about embracing the moment, leveraging the moment, and now it's this time. And it's certainly showing, don't you think?
Listen, confidence is everything in basketball.
Yeah, it is.
Football, you have other people, but confidence is so great when you do individual things. And with Brandon, I think Juwan loves his aggressiveness on offense because he's a really solid defensive player. He always has been. But his offense has just been amazing. He hit a 3 as well.
Yeah.
And listen, I believe in what these guys can do. I talk about Franz and Brandon, but I am crazy about Hunter Dickinson, because Hunter makes a difference. No matter what anyone says, if you don't have a 7-footer and you're getting ready to play Michigan, you got some problems. Because this kid can play. He can really play. And he doesn't have to score a lot to prove that.
Right. Rich, I want to go back to Brandon a second because it reminds me, the topic of I'm going to go in this direction is when you were a player, because and if I recall correctly, one of your strengths was that you would finish around the basket. I mean, you're physically strong,
right?
And you'd get a lot of and ones if my memory serves me right. And Brandon is getting really close. I mean, he's getting to the free throw line. But that next level for Brandon Johns is finishing some of these where he gets an and one as opposed to a 2-shot foul where he missed a couple. I mean, when you watch him play, do you see that void still needs to be closed a little bit with him? Don't you think?
Great analogy. Because when I watch him, the one thing he's missing is the and one.
Yes.
But the and one is you can fix it. It's a free throw.
Yeah.
You got to free throws. We didn't shoot free throws as great as we could have yesterday.
No.
We didn't shoot free throws that great. But our defense was second to none.
Yeah.
We had a great defensive team yesterday. And it matters. No matter what anyone says, defense matters.
No, it mattered. And it created Florida State looked, disheveled. People thought, they look bad. I thought Michigan made them look bad. Because of the defensive schemes that Michigan was throwing at them, and they couldn't get into a flow. They didn't hit the threes. But Michigan won this game, Rich. You made a really good point. 15-23, too many missed opportunity, and a couple of those were on the front end of a 1-and-1. That's 2 missed free throws in my mind. I know, Mike Smith, I think, missed the front end. Eli might have missed one as well. You got to hit free throws. We saw what happened to Alabama against UCLA. They missed like 13 or 14 free throws in this game. That's a difference maker. That game wouldn't have even gone into overtime. They wouldn't have even needed 3 to force it. You got to hit the free throws.
Alabama was 14 for 23 from the free throw line.
Yeah. I mean, they were bad. They were really bad. Yeah. And listen, you can't do that. You
can't. And you're not expecting to win. If you're missing a lot of free throws, because that means the opportunities that you have, you're not making the other team pay for them.
Yeah.
Because now, go to the line, I believed in that, man. Free throws is just exactly that. Yeah. They're free. And I think, you know what else? I told some of my friends from Florida that, you were right, that Florida State came in trying to intimidate us by bullying.
Yeah, it was bully ball.
Right. And I told my friends, did they not forget one thing? And my boys would say to me, what? I said, we play in the Big Ten, man.
I know.
We are always the initiators of physicalness. And if that's what you want to do, then bring it. And that's what happened. Yeah. They brought it. They realized, these guys ain't falling like the other teams. No, that's not us. Listen, we play Big Ten basketball like they play Big Ten football.
Yeah, there was a couple, and I love the camera angle. CBS had a couple of ground or on the floor camera angles that showed the guard matchup. Scotty Barnes was trying to get in the jaw whoever he was covering. I don't know if it was Smitty or whatever, and they switched around quite a bit. And you could see they were trying to. You could see they were jawing too. It wasn't just physical; they were talking. And Michigan did not back down. I thought Eli did not have one of his better games, but Michigan won without Eli having a really, he only had 6 points and he missed some open looks. Didn't have one of his better games. Mike Smith had a pretty good game, not one of his better games. You had those two negatives. You had bad free throw shooting, in my estimation, when you missed, 15-23 and missed front ends. And then you also only had, beyond the arc, you didn't have a big three ball shooting contest, and they still won the game handily. Those are good indicators to me moving forward.
Yes. You know what? It's so positive that the guys are playing the way they are, because teams that you got to play now, there is no more Cinderellas.
No, they're all good. They're all good.
The teams that's in now can really play. And I think, listening to my boy Charles last night, who, he just feels Gonzaga is amazing. But I was happy with Clark Kellogg, who believes Michigan gonna keep advancing, and he's an Ohio State Buckeye.
Yeah.
And Seth, that was on the panel last night as well, who think Michigan can do it. Listen, Tom, this is an amazing time for all the Michigan alumni, basketball, football, baseball, all of these things, because I always think when our teams are winning of the week that we have called Week of Champions, when all the champions come back of every sports team that has won a championship, and the place is full. It ain't one or two, it's full. And so this is a great time for us, man.
No, it really is. And there's another analyst, Wally Zerbiak, keeps picking against Michigan every game. I hope he continues that, because I like that formula. So when you're so Alabama, UCLA. So I'm watching that game last night, Rich, and I'm totally looking at it from a Michigan perspective. Like, let's see, who do I want Michigan to play in this game? With the best chance to win. And I kept going back and forth. I mean, Alabama's a higher seed. You think, you want to play the 11th seed. But it's like UCLA is this loose team. Johnny Jusang, the transfer from Kentucky, leads them, and they got other players. I mean, they got this little guard who's just terrific. Other guard, So I'm thinking, who do I want to play? Who did you want Michigan to play? Or didn't it matter?
It didn't matter, but I prefer to have UCLA.
You did. Okay. For what reasons? For what reasons?
Because I felt like Alabama, their athletes were better than all the other teams that we have played.
Yeah.
And as you saw last night, all those guys could shoot and dribble.
Yeah.
And so I worried about that, because at Hunter's position, at the center position, where they had a pretty good last night. He did pretty well. And so I feel UCLA, listen, I have a lot of friends, man, from California.
Yeah.
And I feel UCLA is a better matchup for us, because I think our physicalness will show. That'll be a difference.
Yeah, they gotta have to guard the perimeter. I think Eli's going to have to really step up. I mean, I think Eli and Franz defensively are the key for Michigan advancing. And that's been the formula, moving forward. I want to go back to free throws because free throws are a big deal. How good of a free throw shooter were you, and why would you miss free throws? I mean, how hard in a game where it's tense, or if it's not, or looser moments, seems like sometimes people can miss more. What was your life like at the free throw line? If you can go back almost 40 years.
I shot in the 80s. I shot in the 80s.
Okay.
I was a pretty good free throw. Guys miss free throws because they lose sight of the free throw itself. I think if you practice enough of them, they become repetition.
Yeah.
It's muscle memory. You keep shooting them. Usually if a guy doesn't have a great grip, he's going to miss the free throw. I'm always surprised, though, when a shooter, say like Eli, who's an excellent three-point shooter, when they miss free throws. I'm always surprised.
Yeah.
Those guys shoot great free throws. Great jump shots. You would think, free throws
you
would be
would.
a problem.
Yeah, you would.
And Eli's been a great free throw shooter all year.
He has, and that, but chaps me more than anything is a front end of a 1-and-1, because to me, that's a turnover. That's a turnover. Yeah. That's a blatant turnover right there, because you've missed
I totally agree.
An opportunity for two, and you let them off the hook, and so I'm just ecstatic. I think. Do you think that the fact now they've had, let's see, we're going on 2 or 3 weeks now, that they know that they don't have Isaiah Livers, and they've had a lot of practices without Isaiah Livers. Do you think this team does it have a different look without Isaiah Livers? When you look at Michigan, both offensively and defensively, what do you see that's different? Or is it the same, but just other guys stepping up? Might just be the same. I don't know.
Well, the big difference for me is when Isaiah hits a three, everybody goes. Everybody on the team, all the guys, all of a sudden, they start hitting threes when Isaiah hit his three. And Isaiah gives you the mental part of the game.
Yeah.
I think he keeps everybody's mind in the right perspective and keep everybody at an even keel. Now what you're seeing is guys are saying, listen, this is our opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a step up for everyone else watching the game, but for a kid who plays behind another kid, like a Brandon Johns behind Isaiah Livers, this is my chance. If I'm going to prove that I can play, I got to step up. And I'm going to tell you, Brandon Johns is stepping up because, you know, you wasn't Mr. Basketball because you don't know how to play.
Yeah. yeah, I know exactly. I know, and I'll tell you what, I know what we were super excited about Shawnee Brown earlier in the year, and he had a terrific year. I mean, he's a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year award in college basketball, okay? But then looking back, remember the latter part of the Big Ten, he kind of hit the brick wall a little bit, and he missed a lot of shots. He had a couple games where he just was not good at all. All of a sudden, these last three games, all of a sudden, man, he's cooking. I mean, why is it? What causes that? I mean, besides just practice, or what is it? You just kind of just get in the zone. How do guys get into this on switch, off switch throughout the year?
Well, I think personally, I believe with Shawnee is he's looking for his next level opportunity.
Yeah,
he knows this is a fifth year, and they talk about everybody else in the NBA draft and all of these things, and you don't hear about him.
No, you don't.
I guarantee you something. You're going to start hearing things because he came the other night and he's using his size. They'll call him an in-betweener. That's what the NBA say.
Yeah.
He's an in-betweener, 6'5", 6'6".
That's like you were. That was your challenge. That's 6'6" is a terrible height. Terrible height. You can blame your mom and dad on that one.
But it is, Tom, because you're in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I always laugh when people, if I had been 6'8", I'd have played in the NBA for 20 years.
You would have. I swear to God. I said that. I said that to my friends all the time back in the day.
Right. But you find a way because they say this in-between thing. Now, if I had been a point guard at 6'6", that'd have been no problem. Because all the point guards are big now. You know what? I think like Shawnee thinks his athletic ability gets him over.
Yeah.
If he can just get into the G League, trust me, he'll be in the NBA someday because he plays too hard.
Yeah. And there's a lot of opportunity. The way they have that structured, I mean, you can make some money or, you know, I mean, you can get by and, you know, the NBA is end all be all for basketball players. But as you exercise, there's so much opportunity for not only make good money, but also for the lifelong experiences like you did playing overseas.
Yeah.
As long as you did. I mean, people can't, that's not normal stuff, I call it, to be able to play in all the different countries that you did and experience all those cultures that you did. And it's made you, you know, you're a whole different person than you would have been without that experience. So a lot of opportunities in pro basketball people don't realize.
Listen, for basketball, we have that. Football, they don't have that.
They don't.
They go over to Canada. They have one league and they go to Canada and everybody can't make those teams in football. But in basketball, every country just about has a basketball thing that they play professional players and they pay you to play. Every country. And so, you know, there's opportunity. And I think if he has aspirations, which I'm sure he does, to get into the NBA, listen, the G League, man, some of those guys making $100,000.
No, 150. Yeah.
150. I think that's a bad salary for a 19, 20-year-old kid.
No, it's not. Sign me up. I'll tell you what, Rich. Hey, it's been great. I'm not gonna run you out too ragged today because I need to reach out to you again on Wednesday, and we're gonna break down this hopefully a berth and the Final Four for the Wolverines. All of a sudden, we've gone from sweet to elite. The Wolverines in the Elite Eight, and so go blue to you, my friend. And hopefully we'll talk on Wednesday for another big Michigan victory and see if that national title might be illuminated out there. You just never know.
Hey, you never know. All right, my friend.
All right, see you, Rich.